Welcome back, everyone, to episode 7 of Pawns and Patrons. Our pawns are all currently sound asleep, dreaming the night away in Phyllis's very comfortable, cozy mud hut. It's got a couple of different rooms and, kitchen and fireplace and, really very homey. It has a number of really lovely frog potterware mugs that she hands out soup in.
I did want to mention that Evelyn would stay awake for watch if no one else would, but
okay.
I don't know if everyone's asleep.
Open.
Yeah, she's kind of just imagining herself on standard watch, but making sure that no one's like all asleep at once.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Oh, yes, Stretch is gonna talk to the OGs that has been on the adventure with him. So I guess that's Babs. And are there other?
Babs, Sky, Agnes. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think Stretch is gonna gather the ones that he knows most. And then he's gonna say, guys, I have to let you in on a secret.
Yeah?
Phyllis got bribed by the knights, right?
Yeah?
With a massive red jewel.
Agnes and Senga look at each other.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a big jewel, yeah.
Big red jewel worth probably a lot of money.
That would do it. That would be a good bribe.
Yeah. I would like that jewel, Agnes whispers.
I would like that jewel too. It is a jewel of bribery. She couldn't even report it to anybody.
Yes, and it was taken under ill intent if it was against the Dudays, Agnes said.
Exactly. The knights have been chasing the Dudays and not Augusta Ribe at all. How dare they? So, should we go look through her things?
Well, no, she's like our host. That'd be like wrong.
Yes, we should just ask her for it. If she's a good host, she would give it, perhaps.
I mean, I don't know if anyone's that good of a host.
She did lie to us.
She does kind of owe us, you're right.
In a way. All right, no, never mind, Sky. Go back to bed.
Yes, let's all forget about the gem.
We won't do that. We
Good night,
won't do
guys.
that.
See you later. Sky will go back to bed.
So.
Yeah, anyway.
Are we doing what I'm thinking we're doing?
Depends on how on board Senga is. I think she might have the best opportunity to snoop around a little bit.
Very valid.
Is it like a one-room hut? Like, is Phyllis on the other side, just like one eye open watching us? Like,
So it's quite large. It is multi-roomed. Like the inner walls are built out of clearly there's some sort of wooden framework, probably those same flexible rods cut from trees outside of the village, like woven into a framework and then plastered with mud that dries under the sun. So there are interior walls that are built out of that same structure. Y'all are all sleeping in an upstairs portion, sort of like a loft. It's not exposed to the downstairs. She was probably using it as an attic, like she had to move like trunks and chests and stuff. Like by now you've definitely like poked through them and been like, ancient moth-eaten linens. A box of mud, like whatever. So y'all are speaking privately. I think there's like 4 rooms, if you imagine, right? There's like a nice, homey sort of sitting chamber that's right at the entrance of the hut, and then like immediately to the right there's like a kitchen, and then immediately to the left there's like a bedroom, and then there's a wooden ladder upstairs to the loft area where you're all hunkered down.
cool. So we can talk under expectations of privacy, and we kind of would make a lot of noise if we were going to go poking around. What Agnes would like to suggest is we're thinking about this big barrel of spices that we have. It's going to be very unwieldy to carry that into the swamp, and highly likely to break and spill its contents and thus become completely unvaluable. Perhaps we can back her into a trade agreement, because we are going to have to bring those flowers back here and get passage through this city again. So we don't want to make ourselves criminals.
Very good point. So we get the gem when we come back. Okay, noted.
Huh? We should make her beholden to us.
If you want to give her the barrel, no problem. I think we should not mention the gem, though. You're right. We should get.
What does Babs think about this plan?
I didn't know Babs was invited. Is she?
Yeah, you were.
Oh, okay.
OG.
It was an OG meeting.
Oh, gotcha.
Minus Sky, because Sky somehow is too nice.
Babs is all for the idea of Senga? That's her name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of Senga being like the scout. She thinks that's great. It has Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 vibes.
So I think, though, that Rachel marked the point. We should do it when we go back. Not when we're going to have to come back here. Yeah. Okay. So I guess we're not doing it tonight.
Okay.
Stretch is kind of paranoid, so Stretch is gonna hide in the room.
Sure. You open a chest and pull out some of the ancient linens and crawl into the chest and then pull it closed, so it's just excellent. Very, very shortly thereafter, there are the sound of soft snores emanating from a chest. Evelyn, you said you were staying up and keeping watch here in this house where the door is locked. There's the soft snoring of a little old lady from downstairs.
Oh yeah, she's freaking out. She's got her ear to the ground and she's counting like thunder and lightning the snores.
Yeah, you hear her mutter, "You put that down, Edith. Don't hurt yourself."
He scratches Edith into the dust and a question mark and then just keeps listening.
Butter my biscuits.
Yeah, all of this is... Evelyn is just coding everything terror here. She's in the enemy's territory. Everyone else is asleep, perhaps under a spell of calm. She's not quite sure. But she has not adventured out, and she has 1 hit point, which is what she's mostly conscious of.
She's very carefully safeguarding her 1 HP or whatever. Yeah. Okay, awesome. As you sit late into the night in the depths of your paranoia, the snoring drones on until your sleep-addled mind starts hearing the sound of jangling coins in the snores, she's sleeping on top of this gemstone and it's worth so much money, and chink 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 chink. And then all of a sudden your mind snaps awake and you are actually hearing the sound of the soft jangling of coins from somewhere nearby.
They are coming to get me. They know I am to do that.
You're asleep.
Okay. I think it's in my sleep. I probably say that in my sleep at this point. They know.
It's just feeding Evelyn's paranoia. Right, they are. It just sounds like somebody rolling over on a bag of coins, or does it sound like somebody taking steps and the coins jingling?
It sounds like a heavy coin purse jangling at someone's hip.
Someone's coming. Someone's coming. They're gonna kill us. They're gonna kill us. Somebody got paid to kill us. And she's got her ear to the ground, but she's reaching out with her foot, just kicking whoever she can wake up and go, "They're coming, guys! They're coming! Somebody's coming! Somebody's coming!"
This room is small. You've now successfully kicked 8 people in the face.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to wake up can be awake.
Babs will be awake.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Scribbles. Scribbles will immediately, Scribbles has their paper on their chest and just Ready to write.
Ready to record.
I think Beskri doesn't wake up, Lurdry either. I think Stretch wakes up and he's like, they're coming.
Henley was already awake in the corner going,
Yeah, that definitely wasn't freaking Evelyn out at all.
Sky will wake up. So will Dee and Kate.
I think that's
I guess,
everyone.
like,
Well,
Babs is like,
and
Fiona's
we
out.
do?
What
What do we do?
did
What,
Babs say?
who's coming? What do we do? Why do we care? What?
What's going on?
I hear somebody coming. I hear somebody with money coming. Somebody's coming up the. And is it like a stairway where like is it a trap door or is it just kind of a hole in the floor?
It's a trap door with a ladder.
Is there a window to this building where
No,
we are?
not in this room.
Sky gets up.
No escape.
Sky gets up. Says, "Don't worry about this. I got it." And we'll head down the ladder and go out the front door.
Okay, yeah, awesome. Are you trying to be quiet, Sky?
No,
Okay, you're just heading down.
relatively. I'm not trying to like wake people up at night. I'm doing the like normal, don't want to wake my neighbors quiet, but not the like I'm a rogue about to steal everyone's money quiet. I'm doing the stumbling to the bathroom at 4 a.m. quiet.
Are you trying to avoid waking up your host?
Yeah, totally. That'd be
All right,
rude.
cool. Let's see. Give me 1d10 plus your agility. Wait a minute. Hang on. And Sky does not have any armor. We've already established this. Yeah, 1d10 plus your agility modifier.
All right. D10 plus 0. 9.
Yeah. Okay. So you climb down the ladder, head outside, open the door. You're standing there in the cold, and somewhere faint in the darkness, you hear this ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
I will wander in that direction looking for a bush.
Suddenly, from behind you, you hear a sound that startles you as a hand falls on your shoulder. It's Phyllis. She says, "Oh, Sky, what are you doing? Is something the matter? I know the room is a little tight, but it's the best that I have. If one of you needs, you could sleep down here in the common area."
I was just gonna leak some water. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes, well, you can do that anywhere outside of the town. Just go in the swamps.
Yeah, I was just, sorry to wake you. Just trying to be quiet.
Oh, no worries. Just
Phil,
trying
wait,
to
I
be
thought
a
you
good
were-
hostess.
What are you doing outside? I was trying to be careful so as not to wake you.
Oh, I heard you climbing down the ladder.
Oh, well, I didn't even hear you get up or follow me outside at all. That's amazing.
These old bones are spry, especially after that double-length soak this afternoon.
Oh, totally. Well, good night, Phyllis. Sorry to wake you. And I will
She
listen.
back.
do you guys know that my grandma's name is Phyllis?
Oh.
Yes.
Fantastic.
I will listen again for the jingling and walk in that direction.
You hear it. It's very faint. What's your background, Sky? You're a warrior these days. But
I'm a navigator.
What were you before?
I'm used to listening to the sound of the sea to determine my location.
So I don't know that you've navigated by sound, but I like that you're a navigator, which means you're like good at finding your way, and also like you've spent a lot of time on boats, which means that you've grown accustomed to hearing the sound of the rigging and like what that means for like what problems might be happening.
See, that's what I was saying. I'm not navigating by the sound of the ocean, but knowing what to do with the boat by the way. See, you know what's happening, Steven.
You've got a little bit more keen of an ear than, let's say, a beer brewer
Yeah.
might have,
Yeah.
for argument's sake. I like this a lot. Give me a D16 plus your luck. Or actually, rather, the hexagon on your character sheet that says action die.
Yeah.
Click that and change it to D16, and then give me a luck roll.
A 19. How's that possible? My action die is a 16.
Wow, what? All right, I guess the action die doesn't actually change.
But I mean, two 19s has got to count for
luck
something.
roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, just roll a D16 plus 0.
But the 19.
The 19 just rolled over and it became like a 5. Terrible. Oh, wait a minute.
Is this Kate? Is this Kate who's doing this?
It is the wrong character sheet.
Yeah.
We can just modify that by 0 because they both have 0
Right,
luck.
of course, because it's sure. Yeah, so the sound seems like it's coming from all over the place, and as you wander out through the town, like it's clear that it's coming from outside in the swamps, but by the time you get out in the swamps, it's quite faint indeed.
Okay, well, I will do what I came here to do. And then, give a pause in a moment to see if maybe I can relocate after finishing my business.
Is everybody else staying inside?
When Sky went down the ladder, Evelyn kind of like stuck her head through and was watching. So she would have been, I think, watching the hallway when he left and is still listening for the jingle sound too.
Yeah, so you stuck your head down, you watched him go out the door, you saw Phyllis come out of her bedroom and go begin a conversation with Sky outside.
Scribbles is also awake, just trying to record everything. Babs went back to sleep.
Go Babs.
I can relate.
Yeah, okay. If nothing else goes on, then yeah. Sky, you're able to make it back to the crew, and nothing else untoward occurs. Of course, Phyllis goes back into her bedroom, closes the door. You hear the little click of the latch when she's closed the door.
I just want to make a mental note of where I went, so that way we can kind of walk by it in the morning, maybe pick up some clues.
As a navigator, you're very familiar with, like, finding appropriate landmarks. You could definitely find your way back to where you were.
Excellent.
Yep. Okay. The night passes beyond that uneventfully.
Okay. I guess I do
So
relate
real quick, two things. First, out of character, I thought it might be helpful to just talk about like what our immediate objective is today, just so that we can like agree and figure out like what do we want to go do. And then second, I owe a number of you experience points, which I put in the Discord, but it's been a month, so let's take a look at this. All level 1 characters earned 3 experience points last session.
Ooh.
1 for surviving facing down the Chunder brothers, and 2 for surviving battling against the swamp crocodiles.
Where do we put that?
There
XP
is
next to level. On your
Oh.
character
Anna's
sheet.
got it.
But is it just for the level 1 characters?
It's just for the level 1 characters. The level 0 characters don't gain XP through this normal method. They're going to get 10 when they survive an adventure.
Okay.
And then
So-
they'll start recording.
Okay.
So I think that's Agnes, Sky, Babs, and Stretch.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, out of character, what do y'all want to take care of today?
I thought we were going to house today.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely
Get
want
the
to know the story of
blossoms.
Dudet.
Mm-hmm.
It is right now the primary narrative of our campaign, in my opinion.
Yes, and why did they stop worshiping Dudet 40 years hence?
And can we get them to
Bills.
start again?
Bobugby Bills, aha, you're right.
That's true. We should get them to worship above bills again.
The relationship between Babugbabills and the Dudays seems to have some sort of connections that I don't quite understand yet, and I would like to get to the bottom of those.
But also we're supposed to find the wizard lady.
I know that's our main storyline, but like, can do that last, right? Or we can do it while we're figuring out the other guys.
Yeah.
That's the storyline we're being taxed on, so I have to say I'm less incentivized. That's true.
All right. Then I guess we're going to odds today.
Awesome. Cool. So Dawn comes early with rosy fingers, and Phyllis treats you all to a breakfast of eggs and bacon, and then swiftly ushers you out the door, sees you well fed and watered, provides you like a water skin so that you have something to, keep you going through the swamps, points you to the north, and then exhorts you to head to the west, and sends you forth.
Are either of those in the direction that I was last night?
So when she sends you north out of town, that's like following the road, opposite from the way that you entered town and continuing on north. You did not go out of town by the road last night. You actually like headed around behind Phyllis's hut and then like off a ways into the swamps, past one particularly gnarled bush that in the darkness looked like a gorgon to you.
Okay. Was that east or west?
It was west.
Okay, so we came south. From south, we are sort of headed northwest, and I went west last night.
Yep.
Cool. So I will, lead the party to where I was last night, under pretenses if anyone asks us, and point around the area and be like, this is where I heard the jingling. Let's look for clues. Daphne, come with me.
Henley is a chicken butcher, so I will make the argument that Henley often has to track things that are running away. So Henley, like, I imagine Henley getting on all fours and like just like finding tracks if there are any to try to follow whatever creature was here.
So as a chicken butcher, Henley also raised the chickens.
No, like Henley comes to work.
Okay.
There's a pen of chickens.
Yeah.
Places to hide.
Yeah.
Henley has to go get one, bring it inside to butcher. So like, you butcher the first 10 really dumb ones, and then there's going to be 3 really smart ones that are like finding places to hide, running away from you. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah.
Which is
probably
painful for me to
escaping
talk
the
about as
pen,
a
and then you have to
vegetarian,
track them. Yeah, absolutely.
Pointing at their peers, they're like, take this one.
I like that we have learned that Henley butchers 13 chickens a day specifically.
It's very unlucky.
And I allow this in full. So go ahead and let's take a look at Henley's character sheet here. Give me a full D20 plus your intelligence modifier. So plus 0, but yeah, okay. Henley, you know that the muds and waters of this swamp just sort of like absorb any kind of lone footprints that go in them. Someone sticks their foot in the mud and it sinks straight in, and then when they pull it up, the water floods in. You can never tell anything. Henley, you don't expect to be able to see an elephant walking through here, much less a chicken. And yet, after a few minutes of circling the area that Sky led you to, there you see it. A soft, like muddy footprint on like a mossy log. And then from there, you're able to like look carefully at an angle at the water and like see the like indentations in under the water to see where these tracks lead. And you're able to find the path of a frog walking through the swamp.
Henley, upon finding this, will kind of stand up and be like, psst.
I go to her.
Fiona's gonna come over, and she's got a background of a forester, so she's just gonna verify and sort of translate this situation and be like, oh, the guy found some frog tracks. Nice job, Henley. And she's gonna slap him on the back, like, good
Nice.
stuff.
Yeah, give me a d20 plus your intelligence. Who is that?
That's Fiona.
Yeah, Fiona.
D20 plus in. She's a -1.
Oh. Wow.
Whoa, that's not good.
So what this says to me is that it's Fiona learning from Henley here. Henley has maybe a little more experience in non-forest specific environments. And so, it's Henley pointing out the tracks and Fiona going, oh, wow, yeah, okay, I would not have seen that. Yes, you find a cluster of tracks heading off and away into the swamp.
Those chicken pens can get real swampy. It makes sense.
Are we following the tracks?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, are there more tracks to follow?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Whoever
lead
was
the way.
doing this was quite bad at hiding their tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So, you make your way along this track through the swamp. Up and over fallen logs and like wading through waist-deep pools from time to time. Henley, give me a luck roll.
Come on, Henley. No. Oh, good. Right? It's supposed to be low.
So this isn't. We should really like standardize this.
It's supposed to be lower than my luck, right?
Sure.
Isn't that am I remembering it wrong?
No, you absolutely. We have occasionally asked for people to roll under their scores.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to go back to the book and like look at when it advises which method of judging. But this is great. The trick here, of course, is that if you have a negative luck, it makes it easier to get a higher, like a successful luck score. If we judge by that method. But yeah. Anyway, Henley is feeling lucky today, and so I think you like see a pair of crocodiles sunning themselves on some fallen logs and steer the group wide, but still keeping an eye on like where the path through the swamp leads. So you steer the group wide, avoiding the crocodiles, but intersecting with the path of the trail through the swamp. And after about 5 minutes of travel, you come to a spot where the path ends, and there's like a couple of like back and forth like trails of these footprints, and then they just like head back the way that they came. There's it's like right between two trees that are sort of leaning towards each other like that, and then sort of out ahead there's like a swampy marshy bit where it's like you have to wade up to your waist, and out in the middle of it there's a big rock that's sort of like has an overhang. It's thrust up out of the water.
Henley will start investigating the water to make sure it's safe, because Henley has their eyes focused on the rock because they think that this person they're tracking probably went there and hid something and then left.
I'm gonna investigate the trees. Strej and Lurjui. Lurjui is like once again taking out the pole arm and like poking things, and like Strej like, really, like, what do you even think you're doing here? And then he starts touching the tree, trying to see if there's like a hidden little thing.
Henley, how are you verifying the safety of the water?
I'm gonna like check first just to see if I can see any threats, likely crocodile hiding spots. And then I'm also gonna take just a little tiny bit of chicken meat from my pouch, kind of just toss it into the middle of the water and see if anything comes to get it.
Yeah. One thing that you notice is that the water here is a lot murkier and muddier than you're used to. It's really hard to see through. It looks, like either churned up or just like so stagnant that all of the silt and sediment like rises up off the bottom or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to see into, but when you toss the like chicken chunks into the water, nothing comes snapping up. I think like you see the kinds of little ripples on the surface of the water that indicate like small fish sort of like coalescing around this morsel that's drifting down through the layers of muck. So all in all, like it looks safe to your eyes in that there's no giant tadpoles, there's no crocodiles.
All right, Henley is gonna make their way toward the rock.
Okay. Meanwhile, was it Strej with the polearm?
No, it was the other Lurjui that bought all the equipment, the expensive equipment first.
Yes, of course, because they sold their stuff. Lurjui, you start inspecting one of the trees and there's nothing strange. You poke it with your polearm and it's a tree. It behaves much like a tree when poked with a polearm. You go to the other one and you start poking it with your polearm and something moves almost like a snake coiling back. And then you realize that you've cut through a rope that was wrapped around the tree that was so soaked in water and mud that it looked kind of like a snake when you poked it. So you reach out and you manage to grab it, and this rope was tied around the tree and trails off into the water.
Dive for the other end! Dive for the other end! Dive for the other end!
Now, of course, it's Henley who's sort of in the water adjacent to the rope. And
Lurjui screams out, "I found that first!"
Henley, you're able to grab the rope and like use it to find your way forwards. It leads right under this overhang of the rock, and then you can like reach down in there with your hands and feel around. Now, as you proceed, you notice that like the water around you is just sort of simmering just a little bit.
Uh-oh.
What do you do?
I'm gonna take note of where I was with the rope, but scramble on top of the rock to safety to just like make sure of what's happening.
Okay, you scramble up onto the rock. Give me an agility test. So roll your agility. Higher is better.
Nice.
Cool, awesome, no problem. You get up on top of the rock easily, and as you pull your leg up, something leaps up out of the water, aiming for your leg. Oh, wow, okay. So Henley, I'm pretty sure that your AC is not 17. Nope. A finger-long silver and black leech leaps up out of the water.
A
and
leaping leech?
Just sticks itself onto your leg. You barely even feel it. It just feels like a clump of mud, sort of like slapping onto your leg.
Yuck.
So how it works.
It reminds me of when we played the Starfinder and Anna always got the gross things.
So true.
Henley, you take 1 damage.
Can I freak out and rip it off my leg?
Absolutely.
I do.
It's easy to grab. It just takes your full attention because it's like slippery and gross. You manage to reach down, grab it, pull it off your leg. What do you do with it then?
Like, it's one of those things where you don't think you're just like away from me, so it's just rip throw.
Yeah, awesome, cool. Yeah, you just huck it. It goes spinning like a boomerang out into the water. It splash.
Yes.
Cool. The water below the rock is just sort of simmering.
Pretty gross.
Is that the only like above water area? Are there like little humps of like dry land or not water?
So looking at the rope and where it's heading, so like these 2 trees sort of like they almost make an X, like crossing over each other, and that's like the path that you followed leads between those 2 trees. And then there's sort of a circular it's all a swamp, so it's all muddy. It's all vaguely land and vaguely water. But this is clearly a circular pool of deeper water, waist deep, with this thrusting rock out in the middle of it. And all around the rock, the water is just simmering a little bit.
But are we able to get like out of the water, like standing?
Yeah, those of you who are between the trees are still out of the water. You're standing on muddy ground. Yeah.
I'm thinking of Valheim leeches, so they can't like get us then, right?
No.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm watching. Fiona and Evelyn and Agnes are all just kind of watching, and Segna.
I guess Lurdry grabs the rope and tries pulling gently.
Okay, cool. Gently pulling on the rope, you feel a little bit of resistance as of something heavy dragging along the bottom of the water.
Henley is like
finally,
just like drawing this away from Henley, who's standing on the rock now.
Yeah, just like, what? You pull up a muddy and waterlogged sack, and because it's completely soaked and quite heavy, you can very clearly see the outline of number of gold coins through the cloth.
Lurdry says, "That's mine. I found it."
Excuse me. I let us here.
Henley is having a temper tantrum.
Stretch today is like, I let us here first.
Listen, this is a group
effort.
effort.
That's true.
So I guess Lurdry just opens up the thing to see what's in it.
Yeah. A moment's counting ascertains that there's a very convenient 120 gold coins in this bag.
And we're 12?
And you are 12.
Well, Lurdry is like, you know what my mama always said, finders keepers.
Come on, be a good team player. We're all in this together. Come on, you know the right thing to do.
Stretch is like, yeah, sure, that's exactly what happened last time. The money was divided evenly with every party member.
Look, we got a lot of quests to do. Do we want to stand around in a swamp arguing about money a few feet from the town? Or we want to just divide it and move on?
Lurdry is like, all
Henley
right,
is now like this on the rock.
all right, I'll divide it with the people that contributed to this, then.
Come on.
Let's see. So who contributed? Make your arguments to me.
Oh.
Sits
Babs
on the
is gonna
log.
make a grab at the bag to try to just take it from her.
How heavy are 120 gold coins? Is this like...
I mean, it's probably like 2 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Does Babs manage to get it?
Wow. Let's see. So I feel like what's gonna need to happen here is an opposed agility roll. Lurdry,
Not
are you trying to dodge this?
Lurdry was asking people to stand in line and make their argument as to why they deserve 10 gold pieces.
Okay, so Lurdry isn't paying a lot of attention. You can like wrestle it away from him with strength, or you can swipe it with agility.
I want to just wrench it away.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
No.
Given that Lurdry is surprised, he's taken by surprise, and is it Henley who's doing this?
No, it was Babs.
Babs.
Henley is stuck on the rock. Babs is on the
Of course,
shore.
right? Yeah, Babs, who has a lot of practice carrying a very heavy keg, just grabs the bag. What do you do with it, Babs?
Babs starts just handing each person 100 gold.
10 gold.
100
Yours.
gold.
10 gold. Yeah. There's yours. There's yours.
Thank you,
Yours.
Babs. You're very
Of
responsible.
course. And to anyone who doesn't want to be fair.
All right, everybody add
So
10
what?
gold pieces.
Lurdry doesn't get 10 gold?
No, everyone gets 10, but Lurdry gets it last.
And he gets a raspberry at the same time.
Yes.
Drew is really frustrated.
Though I
Fine,
see what,
I'll never ever let you use my pole arm again.
Dude, don't be that way. No one likes a sore loser, and you didn't even lose. You made out on this.
Also, Babs is holding Henley's 10 and kind of looks out and is like, anyone have any ideas of how to, like, get Henley back safely? Is the water still bubbling?
yep. It's just
I mean-
simmering.
Jump for it, Henley.
How far is it? 25 feet?
Yeah, it's like 20 feet.
Jump and
Fiona
swim. Swan
Puts a
dive.
hand on the trunk of one of the two trees that are crossed over, and she kind of gives it a pat. Is it a living or dead tree? Could we knock this over?
Roll your luck, and 10 or higher is better.
Oh no.
This tree, despite all appearances, is very much alive, hearty and hale. It would take serious felling in order to like make this tree fall over. But you could, if you had an axe, just like chop the tree down.
Fiona says that aloud. She kind of whacks on the trunk of it, and she goes, "Oh, Henley, we could build you a bridge if we had an axe." Looks around the party.
Henley.
I got a two-handed sword.
Henley does not have an axe.
Incidentally, being a new day, those wizards of the party have reclaimed all previously cast spells.
Are the trees hanging over the rock in such a way that Henley could reach any branches?
Henley, roll luck. 10 plus is good.
Oh, that was unexpected.
You know, especially in combination with Fiona like pushing on the tree and making it bend just a little bit, some of those branches start coming mighty close to in reach. It's gonna take a little agility check to see if you can jump up and grab them without falling into the water. But so Henley jumps, and then Fiona leans back, and the branches move just out of Henley's reach, and Henley falls into the water.
And we'll try to scrabble. Well, actually, like if Henley's already in the water, they're just gonna make a break for it.
Swim for
Back
it.
toward the shore.
Swim
Yeah.
for it.
Throw him a
Henley
rope.
just starts sprinting. Are you just trying to move as fast as you can, Henley?
Yeah, to shore.
Okay.
Go, Henley, go.
Leeches.
Okay, give me a strength check, Henley, and let's see if you can like power your way through the water at speed.
Jeez. I
Oh,
wasted it all
Henley.
on luck.
All right, well, you're like power wading your way through this water as hard as you can. And the leeches are just flying. They're like leaping up out of the water all over the place.
I hate this. Ew.
You take 3 attacks.
Goodbye, cruel world.
That's 1. That's 2. That's 3.
My AC is 10.
Yes. So you stagger up out of the water, and 3 leeches hang from your limbs. It's not looking good for dear Henley.
Babs will try to help Henley rip the leeches off as fast as possible. And Henley will also be doing that. While
Okay.
Scribbles is just recording what the leeches look like and anticipating being able to record their effects.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Henley's lost a lot of blood already. It's looking quite dire for our newest member of the party. Is there anything that anybody can do to prevent Henley's untimely death at the hands of the leeches?
I have a magical healing lucky roll. Is that actually related to helping me heal? Is that possible?
I think that let's take a look. For who character? Which character?
For Fiona.
For Fiona the Furnace. I think that what that means is that whenever you receive or perform magical healing, you add your luck bonus to the amount healed. But Fiona, being a forester, doesn't have any magical healing available.
What if we run back to the city and seek some help?
Oh, this is like Henley is fading within the next 3 seconds.
Is it that he's losing blood?
Yep.
Could I enlarge his blood?
Could you enlarge his blood? So let's take a look at the enlarge spell, because if your enlarging would cause him to gain hit points, then the answer is yes.
Yes.
So here's the deal. If you hit a 20 to 23 on your spell check, then you'd give him plus 10 HP, and then he would be saved. So like,
not he.
Technically possible, but challenging, not achievable. Well, you got a 5% chance of doing that without burning stats.
Well, Henley just sacrificed so much for. Oh gosh, Agnes is the one doing this, and she's terrible, but we love them.
We should actually. There's one thing that we should double check for Agnes, which is that you've regained some of the stats that you gave for spell burn. Ability scores lost in this way return as the wizard heals. Each day she does not attempt spell burn, she recovers 1 point of ability score. Okay, so actually, yesterday you spell burnt, so you didn't recover. Today you will recover a point, but you haven't done it yet.
Okay, and I get to choose which ability I get that point in?
Yeah, and you'll gain it tonight if you have not spell burnt all day.
Got it. Okay. And I have to spell burn in order for the enlarge spell to reach a useful number?
Yes. Are there any clerics in the party?
Nope.
Ooh.
We only have one cleric, and it's Grolopus.
And no basic medicine that we could do, right?
You know, I'd let you make an argument that one of your characters has experience with medicine.
Well, Fiona has an idea. Fiona's only ever saved animals that have wound up with leeches on them, but she does have an idea that the leech attaches and then sucks the blood out. And so the issue is that if he's losing blood, we could get the blood back in. So if she would instruct each person in the group to grab one of the leeches and squeeze it back in and then yank it off. Thus, none of my characters are scientists. I'm sorry.
I love it.
Sky will squeeze a leech.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
I think in real life, like, that could work, but it also infects you and then you die from that.
Yeah, it's very bad for you, actually.
But I think temporarily.
You know, if we're talking about death now or death in a week,
right?
Then maybe this is a reasonable
I
option.
like this. All right.
So Fiona, roll a d20 plus your intelligence.
Oh no. Excuse me.
Have you all found that you forget how to swallow in isolation? Because I do. I feel like I choke more now than I ever have before.
Way more dangerous now too.
Drinking water, man.
Yes, Rachel, yes. Yes.
That's what it cost me. I spellburned my ability to sip water
Yeah.
in exchange for.
All right. Fiona the Furnace, you coordinate the squeezing of the leeches. This works. Henley, you only take 1 damage, which means you're left with 1 hit point. And we're definitely going to have to start getting some constitution rolls from you on subsequent mornings. So let's just make a note here. Henley has some skull attached to his character. Fantastic. Well done.
Henley is they, not him.
They. Well done.
As soon as we rip the leeches from Henley's body, Fiona like tackles them and she's like, I'm so happy you're okay, you creepy little chicken butcher. Oh, she gives them a little noogie.
And Henley's resisting at first, but somehow the noogie calms them and they just kind of they submit to being held.
Amazing.
They
Wow,
also
all right.
feel really sick, so they'll let themselves be carried.
The 12 of you, plus D'Artagnan and Chattanooga, and Anna and Rachel, stroll away, not much the worse for wear, and with 10 gold heavier in each of your coin pouches.
All right, back to house today.
And that, I think, is where we should take our last 5-minute break. And when we come back, we can begin the search in earnest for House Dudet.